A VPN, short for Virtual Private Network, is a privacy protection tool that is quickly becoming a must-have. But why do you need a VPN, and how does it work in the first place? A VPN helps your data travel through the internet safely, without big companies or cybercriminals being able to spy on your online activities. Also, a VPN swaps the real location of your device with a new one. This way, you can virtually travel to any country around the globe. So, who can benefit from a VPN? If you're worried about your online privacy, a VPN makes sure your identity and private information are not exposed when you go online. If digital security is your top priority, a VPN gives a nice additional layer of security. It encrypts your data so nobody could see what you send and receive. If you are a human rights activist whose freedom of speech is restricted, a VPN helps you to bypass censorship and speak to the world. Or, if you're on holiday in another country, with a VPN, you can bring your home entertainment anywhere you go. Here's a pro tip: check out Surfshark VPN. It has everything you need in a premium VPN, awesome speeds, and industry-leading protection that covers all of your devices. All you have to do is click Connect. Secure your digital life and enjoy everything good that the internet has to offer with a VPN you can trust.
Click link in the description and get 81% discount for your first order. Creating your itinerary. Plan your vacation dates to avoid the crowds. As one of the largest and most popular theme parks in the United States, Disney World is likely going to be crowded no matter what time of year you go. If you are trying to avoid crowds and you do not have to work around your children's school schedule, you may want to avoid visiting Disney World on school or national holidays. This will allow you to avoid crowds of families traveling to the park for the same school holidays and breaks. If you have to factor in your children's school schedule, you may want to pick dates in the fall, winter, or spring months, as the park can be crowded and hot during the summer month. You can also use Disney World's crowd calendar tool to check the best times to visit the park. Even if you end up with dates that may be on busy or crowded days, if you plan other factors of your trip correctly, you can still avoid long waits for attractions and save money on your trip by taking a few preparatory steps. Check for any special events or special attractions. You can check the Disney World event program online to look up the special events and attractions going on for that year or season. Quite often, new attractions and rides are being introduced to the public, and your family may be interested in visiting the park for these attractions. The biggest seasonal events at Disney World occur in the fall and at Christmas, so you may decide to visit the park for these special events. In September, the park hosts the Food and Wine Festival at Epcot, and in October, the park holds a Halloween party in the Magic Kingdom. In November and December, the park holds Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, and so going during Christmas can be a good time to visit. As the weather is mild, the crowds can be lighter, and the park is lit up with lights and other special attractions. Determine which attractions you would like to visit. Sit down with your family or your travel companions and look over the list of attractions at Walt Disney World that will be operating during the dates you picked. Discuss and create a list of your top must-see attractions. Use this list as your day-to-day itinerary. Some of the major attractions at Disney World include 4 theme parks: Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, and Disney's Hollywood Studios, formerly Disney MGM Studios, 2 water parks, Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon, 5 golf courses, 2 mini golf courses, 2 dinner shows, Boardwalk Entertainment District, Disney Springs Shopping and Dining District. A completely sortable list of the attractions at Disney World can be found on the Walt Disney World interactive website. Go for 5 to 7 days to get a full experience of the park. Due to the scale of Disney World, you should try to plan for at least 5 to 7 full days at the park. This may mean that you set aside 1 to 2 days for travel time to and from Orlando, for a total stay of 7 to 10 days. 5 full days will give you enough time to visit all 4 theme parks and experience many of the attractions, shows, and parades. If you want to have a more leisurely time to experience the park or try some of the extra activities, like the water parks or golfing, you may opt for 7 full days at the park. Keep in mind Disney has made it more cost-efficient to do longer trips, as 7-day tickets do not cost much more than 4-day tickets. If possible, you should try to commit at least 5 days at the park to get the full experience. Make a day-to-day itinerary. Once you determine your top must-see attractions, your travel dates, and the duration of your visit, you should create a day-to-day itinerary. This way, you can be sure to fit in everything you would like to see and stay organized once you get to the park. You may decide to spend at least 1 full day at each theme park, with breaks at specific restaurants for lunch in each of the parks. You may also factor in a specific show at the park that you would like to see or a parade. You should also account for time spent at other attractions, like the water park or the mini golf course. Certain restaurants at each of the park require reservations, and because of their heavier guest population, must be booked at least 6 to 8 months before your trip. Look at a dining guide for the park and add several dining options to your itinerary. Disney also offers a dining plan as an add-on where you pay for access to dining spots in the park. You may decide to save money by bringing your own snacks and preparing your own meals to bring into the park. Although expensive, the dining at Disney World is known to be eclectic and worth trying, so you may decide to treat yourself to dining in the park 1 or 2 days during your visit and brown bagging the other meals the other days. Arranging your transportation and accommodations. Determine your budget. Transportation and accommodations can be one of the more expensive aspects of your visit to Disney World, especially if you are traveling far from home. You may want to consider your total budget for the trip and then break it down based on your planned budget for your transportation and your accommodations. This way, you will be able to stay within your budget and avoid overspending. You may also want to factor in how many people are going with you on your visit. If you are traveling with more than 4 people in total, you may need to budget for 2 rooms or a suite that can fit 4 or more people. Disney World resorts do not allow 4 or more people in a single room unless you are traveling with children under the age of 3. If you have a larger travel party, you may need to plan for cheaper transportation, like driving rather than flying. You should also consider a travel package through Disney World resorts to save money, especially if you are traveling with a large group. Drive to Orlando for a cheaper option. If you are looking to save money and driving to Orlando is feasible from your home base, you may go for the road trip option. This is a good option for a large travel party and if the available flights for your travel dates are expensive. Having a car to get around Orlando is also ideal as it is not a great city for walking or public transit. The driving option is good if you are planning to stay at an off-site, budget hotel, as you can then drive to and from the park every day at your own designated times. Paying for parking can be pricey, but it is likely more budget-friendly than splurging for plane tickets for the entire family. You should also budget in the cost of gas to drive to Orlando and back. If you live in the Mountain or Pacific time zones, keep in mind you are closer to Disneyland than Disney World. Book a flight. If you would prefer to fly to Orlando, you may consider booking a flight to Orlando online or through a travel agent. You may look for cheaper flights based on your travel dates and then stay off-site at a hotel close to Disney World. You should keep an eye on flight prices for your travel dates and book them in advance to get the best rates. Another option is to book a flight package through Disney Resorts, where you get your flights and accommodations together. You should consult with a travel agent who specializes in Disney World travel, as these experts will likely be able to get you the best rates. Stay at a Disney World resort if you can afford it. Each Disney resort is unique and offers a range of accommodation options. If you are planning to splurge a little for your visit, you may consider staying in an official Disney resort to make your stay that much more luxurious. Staying at a Disney resort gets you free transportation from the airport to the resort via the Disney Magical Express line, as well as access to Disney buses, boats, and park monorails. Many Disney resorts also offer larger pools and other recreational options that are family-oriented. You can find more information on each Disney resort on the Disney World website. If you decide to stay at a Disney resort, you should look at discount options on the Disney website or speak to a travel agent that specializes in Disney vacations about discounts for on-site accommodations. Choose an off-site accommodation if you are trying to save money. If you are traveling to Disney World on a budget, you may decide to stay at an off-site hotel or resort. Larger parties of 4 to 5 people tend to go for off-property resorts, which are often located very close to Disney World. These resorts tend to feel higher end and less motel-like, with amenities for larger parties. Talk to a travel agent about off-property resort options. You can also choose a quality off-site hotel that is close to Disney World. It's best to have a car or rent a car. You can check rates online and use websites that allow you to bid on rooms at hotels close to Disney World for your travel dates. Saving time and money at the park. Buy your park passes ahead of time. Avoid paying high fees for tickets by buying your park passes in advance. You can use the Disney World website to check out the prices and select passes for the theme parks you are planning to visit. Disney ticket prices drop with every extra day to your visit you add, so try to buy all your passes at once. Passes can be very expensive when purchased through Disney's website, so you may want to consider buying your passes from an authorized third-party seller. You can do this through a third-party seller like Undercover Tourist. You can also look for discounts through your local auto club. AAA has discounts on these theme park tickets when you have an account with them, your student union, your human resources office at work, or through Veteran Affairs if you are in the military. Do not buy passes on sites like Craigslist, eBay, or other unauthorized online ticket brokers. You cannot use someone else's unused Disney tickets, as Disney will not accept tickets that are registered under someone else's name. Bring your own snacks and supplies. You cannot take coolers into the parks, but you can take backpacks and purses. Load up your bag with supplies like sunscreen, toiletries, Band-Aids, refillable water bottles, and snacks. Food and supplies in the park are often expensive, so avoid spending extra money on items you can bring with you. If you are a large party, you should each have a bag loaded with basic supplies, including non-perishable snacks and a refillable water bottle for every member who will be visiting the park that day. This will ensure that everyone in your party is prepared for a day of walking around outside and enjoying the park. A backpack is also useful for any leftovers you may have if you do decide to eat at a dining spot in the park. This way, you can snack on the leftovers later in the day. Get to the park early. Beat the crowds by arriving at the park right at opening time. The beginning of the day is often less crowded and cooler than the afternoon, and this way you can take advantage of all the park has to offer. This will also allow you to take a break in the middle of the day when the crowds and the heat are often at their worst, and then return to the park in the evening. Most of the theme parks open at 9 a.m. and have extra magic hours where they stay open later in the evening as well. Getting to the park early can also help you get a better parking spot at your chosen theme park. Once you pay for parking for that day, you will be able to reuse that day to enter any other Disney World theme park at no additional charge for the day. Use the My Disney Experience by Disney or the Lines by Lentesti apps to avoid long lines and crowds. One of the biggest hurdles during a visit to Disney World is the long lines for attractions and rides. You can download My Disney Experience or the Lines app to determine the wait time for each ride or attraction while you are at the park. You can then plan your visit around line times and avoid standing in long lines, which will eat up your chance to try other things at the park. The app works for iPhone, Android, and other smartphones. Take lots of photographs and bring them home as souvenirs. Preserve your Disney World experience by taking lots of photographs of the attractions, the shows, the rides, and of you posing with your favorite Disney characters. You can then save money by framing these photos and keeping them as souvenirs of your trip. There are photographers hired by Disney to help you capture your special moments at the park, for which they can stick it on a card and you can print them out at home, or for an additional charge, you can have them printed out at the park. Make sure you are aware of the price of the photographs before you have them printed.